Hey there, how are you? Welcome to the new video. It is very windy today, and I really hope it doesn't ruin the recording too much. If it does, for the next time I'm gonna buy some dead cat to try to fix that, because I kind of enjoy the recording outside. Anyways, today's topics, Steam Machine again. A little bit different take. Recently I said I'm not buying a Steam Machine because I just couldn't wait, and I have had the parts to make a do-it-myself version, which is very similar to the performance of the actual Steam Deck. So I can, not Steam Deck, Steam Machine, sorry about that, it's a habit. I'm talking about Steam Machine the entire time. So do-it-yourself Steam Machine, I have like Ryzen 3700X. It's an 8-core processor, but a little bit older generation than the one in Steam Machine. So it's kind of like 30-ish% lower instructions per clock, but it has 2 more cores. So in some games it should be able to pull ahead at least as much as the CPU in the actual Steam Machine can do, and in titles in which you cannot utilize all the 8 cores, it's going to be a little bit slower. But for 60 FPS gaming it should be good enough. On the flip side, my GPU is Radeon 6700 XT with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. So in that regards, it should be slightly faster than the one in the Steam Machine, with a little bit more memory, so possibly it should be able to load higher resolution textures. Although I haven't really had the need to cross the 8 gigabytes barrier. Not really. I mean, in Cyberpunk I need about 5 gigabytes of VRAM, maybe 6. And that's on pretty high settings. But Steam Machine has slight edge in it will get FSR 4 like half a year earlier than RDNA 2 graphics cards, at least in terms of the promise from AMD. And one other thing, ray tracing. Ray tracing is a little bit better in terms of performance on the actual RDNA 3 hardware on the real Steam Machine. So all in all, it's kind of a side grade, right? If you switch from my do-it-yourself machine to the real one, or from the real one to my machine. But this video is actually about me slightly changing my mind, and it's not that I have changed my mind in terms of yeah, it's just better. It's the thing that has been happening in the world with RAM prices, with SSD prices, with basically GPU prices altogether being a huge roller coaster over the past few years. And all in all, developers not really learning how to optimize their video games. That's the part that bothers me the most out of everything. Like, if your game doesn't work properly, just buy a more expensive graphics card, right? Buy a 4,000 euro Nvidia GPU like 5090 with 32 gigabytes of memory, because that's going to solve your game to work properly. Like hell it will. What I want to do, I want to put, how do you say it? I want to put my wallet where my word is. I am not sure if that's the correct term, but what I want to do is I want to add one more number to Valve, like +1. I want to add +1 so that Valve can go around the world among the game developers and whatnot and kind of brag about the numbers of the units in use by their users, and the end result should be that developers start paying attention to this particular unit, to this particular hardware combination, take PlayStation 5 Slim, for example. Now, granted, that one sold a whole lot more millions of units than Steam machine can possibly dream of selling. That's pretty accurate. But nevertheless, developers have been targeting that device from day one, and it has been a great chicken and egg success all in all. And already a lot of the games have been optimized for this particular hardware, and PlayStation 5 isn't that much of a different unit in terms of hardware grunt to say. I hope my phone will not fall off, because I can see the wind is taking it off. It's very unstable. Anyways, the CPU in PlayStation 5, just like in my do-it-yourself Steam machine, is slightly lower instructions per clock than the actual Steam machines. So Steam machine should be able to pull a little bit better frame rate. But in terms of memory, then PlayStation has a little bit more advantage in terms of having 16 gigabytes of unified memory. So if developer has been smart enough to allocate their graphics memory, then PlayStation 5 may have had a little bit of an edge here. But if you look at the Steam machine through the prism of 1080p gaming, which is pretty much what I think this machine is going to be served for, with of course FSR1 upscaling in the SteamOS, I think 8 gigs should be pretty much okay, and I am willing to bet that it will be okay by buying one of these units. And what I eventually want to accomplish with purchasing this unit compared to what I already have is I want to get this out-of-the-box experience that Valve is pretty good for, because I have a Steam Deck, and all in all Steam Deck has been a phenomenal just works experience. You know, you go to the store, you pay the game, you download the game, you press play, and it works. You don't have to deal with anything unless the game really isn't you know, Forza Horizon 6 works, but you know, 30 FPS, it's not that great of an experience. 40 FPS would be much better. Alas, the hardware isn't good enough for that. So the CPU, as you can tell already, I'm more aligned with the frame rate than I am with the graphics fidelity. So if the Steam machine can indeed deliver very stable 60 FPS, then the you know, graphics fidelity is it is what it is, right? So that's my take on it. So the conclusion of this video, I'm actually getting one. I'm gonna see you in the next video.